Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm just about to hit play on the podcast and we're going to get rip right into this one. Okay, give me 2 seconds. All right, everybody, welcome. This is the Gym Boss Podcast. I am Jimmy, I'm your host. I'm currently having my morning coffee. I hope you're enjoying yours as well. And this one today is about if your memberships for your gym have been stagnated. Are they stuck at the same spot where you might just say you might get 100 members and then you're at like 105 and then it drops down to 98. Then you're at 103 and month after month it's just sort of floating around that same sort of spot despite your efforts, despite what you're putting in. And you're definitely not alone in that regard, because that's how a lot of gyms, when they come to us, they're like, man, we're just stuck, we need some help. And so there's 5 core functions of where of a fitness business and where it could potentially be a leak. So if you think of it like a hose, and at the end of the hose is where you pump out your profits and your revenue, right? There could be a leak somewhere along the line, and there's 5 potential leaks. Before we get into that, if you just want somebody to do your marketing for you, to get rid of all that stress and hassle so you can get more leads, more clients, and grow your brand at the same time, go on over to iwantgymleads.com and you can schedule a time to speak with myself where we can talk about exactly doing that. All right, moving on. So the 5 core functions, look at it like this. We've got function number 1, leads. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse today. I'm not feeling 100%. So you got your leads, right? So that's the front end. So any business, the lifeblood of any business is your marketing. So how you get your leads. If you have a look here, if you're on Facebook Live, you'll be able to see this, but I'll describe it for you guys on the podcast right now. You've got the 5 things. You got the leads, or the marketing. You've got step 2 is like, how do we warm them up? How do we actually get people interested into what we're doing? Number 3 is sales. That's the one right smack bang in the middle. Then number 4 is delivery of your services and your things that you offer in your gym, or that they signed up for. And number 5 is retention, or how to upsell, or whatever you want to call it. Like, how do we keep them long term? So if we want to drill into each one of these pieces here, like, you've got the 5 things there, but if you have a look on a timeline, if you were to draw out a timeline and have them exactly like this, what I've got on the whiteboard here, going from left to right, but then underneath each of those, if you drew an arrow straight down, there's so much depth to each part of that. So leads, how do you get leads? Okay, where do they come from? Are they Facebook? Are they Instagram? Are they email? Are they referral? Are they from competitions? Are they from charity boot camps? Do you know what I mean? Like, where are they coming from? And then underneath all of that, you've got like all metrics and KPIs. So if you're not measuring where you're getting all this stuff from to begin with, and you're just sort of throwing stuff at a wall and see what sticks, then that could be problem number 1. But most often than not, once we fix that problem, it's something else further along down the chain that most people don't even know that they've got these problems until we fix that first one. So if we fix that, we go, right, we plug that hole in the hose, so to speak. What's number 2? Warm. Okay, we've got to get them warm. What does that mean? Lead, nurture, whatever you want to call it. But how do we now get that person from a lead to now setting foot into your gym? Are we sending them more content via email? Are we retargeting them on Facebook with some more content? Are we sending them reminder text messages? Just simple stuff. Reminder text messages, reminder emails of the appointment that they made. Maybe you're shooting them a personalized video to say, hey, look, I'm pumped to have you in the gym tomorrow at 10 a.m., Mary. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. If you need any help, give me a buzz. This is my direct number. So that's the warm process. Are we doing anything like that? Maybe, maybe not. But if we do a deep dive and we drill deep into that point there and go down, you can see all the layers there are to that point just there. Number 3, sales. I've done a heap of sales videos, and I'll always do it because I love it, because this is the part where you're talking to people. Like, what are you selling them into is also a thing. Like, what are you selling them into? How much is it? All that sort of stuff. And what's your process? That they walk out the back end of that going, you know what, I bloody love that experience. And then they come in and they love, everything about it. So scripts, processes, application forms, like all this stuff. What happens in the sales process? Have numbers, have metrics, so you know exactly what you're doing at each point there. Then this is the one where most PTs, number 4, focus a lot of their time and energy on when they're first starting out. PTs, coaches, trainers, whatever you are, right? This is where they most start out. is on the delivery part, because that's our passion, that's where we love, and that's exactly where I started out at as well. I just love training. I helped a few mates out way back in the day, well before I had my PT certificates, and I was reading bodybuilding magazines and forums, and I was helping people with supplement recommendations and training programs just because I loved it. And that's where most of us start. So that part there is usually can and cannot be a sticking point. Like, we love what we do, but now what we need to have a look is a deep dive in, similar to the warm process, how do we then, just say you've signed them up into a 28-day challenge. So that's not the ultimate goal that you want for the client, right? You want them to be able to stay with you long term, 6 months, 12 months, where you can affect their lifestyle change for them. You can get them a short, momentary result in 28 days, but is it going to stick around? Probably not, because they need the accountability, the support, and everything else that you guys offer, right? So do you have a process? Day one, just say it's 28 days. For every single day that they are there, what do you do to ensure that they get an amazing experience, and number two, that they want to stay and refer their friends as well? So then that's when we get into number three, retention. So when they roll over into membership, right? So if they do a 6 or 12 month membership, or whatever the memberships that you offer there. So you've got to have a process of, like, what's the process of the delivery, and then what's the process of getting retention? And there could be many things. Again, drill down, know your numbers on everything. Have a look at this. So it's kind of like, the way I like to think of it like this, it's kind of like, if you don't have this system and this process, it's kind of like a fitness client or a weight loss client where they've been with you for years, but they're always chasing the same 5 kilos. They'll drop 5 kilos, woo, and then they'll go on like a holiday, they come back, they're like, oh my God, I put on, and then they're constantly fluctuating up and down like that, chasing that same 5 kilos forever. And that's kind of like what happens in fitness businesses if we don't have this in place. If you don't have a system for each of these 5 core functions of the fitness business, then you're just leaving things to chance, and you are going to fluctuate. You might get some good growth when you start out, and then you'll be scratching your head wondering where it's going along. So all we need to do is have a look at the pipeline and go, where in the hose is it leaking and stopping profits from coming out the end? That's the only thing. And then you go through it and you have a look and you set up numbers and etc. that you need that is specific to your business. And then you can quickly and rapidly, on a daily, weekly basis, know, where are the red flags? Where's the holes? And how can I fix that? It's pretty simple. No, it's not pretty simple, but once you get it put in place, it's pretty simple to then identify. Look, if you want some help doing this stuff, and you want somebody to help you with the leads, with the marketing, helping you with sales, with everything, go on over to iwantgymleads.com. You can see a whole bunch of testimonials over there. But at the bottom, there's a little scheduling thing. Just schedule a time so we can have a chat. No pressure. It's just us talking about your business, see how we can help you out. And at the worst case scenario, you'll at least walk away with some free value that's specific to you. But then if you feel like there's a good fit for us, then we can talk about how we can work together. But that's iwantgymleads.com. Schedule a time and we can have a chat about that. This is Jimmy. Love you all. Peace. That was fun. I just realized I had my coffee in my hand the whole time. Love you all. See you next time.